Okay, let's make a more interesting sweep shape. We're actually going to put together a spiral. So what I want to do, I've got a new part here, called it Helix Spring, is I'm going to want to sketch the outside dimension of my spiral. So what I'm going to do is I'll go, we'll do it right here on the top plane, and I'm going to draw a circle, and then we're going to give it a dimension. And so the outside diameter of our helix spring will be 2 inches. Okay, now from there, what we want to do is we want to make a helix off this. So a helix is it's a circle that translates. To do that, we have to go into the insert menu. And so we're going to play, and we're going to go insert helix spiral. And you notice right off the bat, we see our preview. It shows us that it's going to take this circle and turn it into a helix and spiral. So we've got a couple ways to define it. Pitch and revolution, that would be talking about screws and things like that. Height and revolution spiral. We're just going to go height and revolution. So we're going to tell it how tall it is, and then we're going to tell it how many revolutions to take it. So as we go down here, we start looking at parameters. So we're going to make it a 6-inch tall helix. See right there is 1 revolution. That's really not what we want. We want 8 revolutions. Have it go around. There we go. And we're at the starting angle. We want to actually, let's make it start at 135 instead of 270. 135. Okay. And so now this is going to create our helix. And so there we go. We've got a 3-dimensional helix line. So the next thing that I want to do, because I am going to want to swoop, I guess swoop isn't the right word, I want to sweep a cross section to it. So what I need to do is I need to make a plane at the end of my helix, because I want to have that cross section in line with the helix. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a reference plane. So we'll go back here to features, and we're going to go to reference plane. And the first reference we're going to pick is the end of our spiral there. And then our second selection is going to be the end point of the helix. And so it tells us it's fully defined. Now what I have is I have a reference plane. It's right in line, right tangent with that, which is what I want. So I'll execute that. So now I have a plane that's perpendicular to my sweep path, which is what I want. So let's go sketch on that plane, because remember, for a sweep we need 2 different sketches, and the helix spiral is our path. So now let's sketch our cross section. We'll just throw it over here, and then we're going to throw a dimension on it of 1/4 of an inch, 0.25. And so now what we need to do is we need to add a constraint between these two. So I'm going to go to the center point here, and then I want to get, so there's no point to pick there. So what I want to do is I want to figure out how to have it go there. So we can't just grab it the way that we did before. So what we need to do, let's just get rid of the point. And let's get out of the Smart Dimensioning tool. Did not want to exit the sketch. Let's go back to the sketch. Now that we're in the dimensioning tool, which is why it wasn't working. We want to pick that point at the end. We want to pick our center point. Now that we're not in the thing, it's like, oh, the only thing it gives us is fixed. Well, we don't want that. So we need a different constraint. So what I want to do is I want to put in a constraint where it pierces the plane. So what we're going to do, so we can't pick the end points. So what I want to do is I'm going to pick center of my circle. I'm going to hold control down. I'm going to pick the helix itself. And you see that we have a relation here, pierce. Pierce will take it and it will stick it basically where it's popping through a plane. So I put that pierce on there, and look, we went all black. We are in the place where that helix is intersecting the plane, and so we're good. It's fully constrained, which is what we want. We'll finish that, we'll execute that. And so now we're just going to go into our features and we're going to sweep a boss base. We got the sketch profile, we're going to pick our profile sketch. And then for the path, we'll pick our helix once my laptop lets me do it. There we go. And there we go. And so you can see the preview. We got a little spring there. So we'll just execute that out. And so there we go. So now we got a three-dimensional spring shape based off of that helix. Okay. And so that's what we got to show you with these advanced modeling techniques.